Hello viewers, I am Jyoti from Department of Computer Science. This is our second session. Here we are going to discuss about constructors and destructors. First let us see what is the use of constructor. So the main use of constructor is to initialize objects. You all know that object is the combination of data and member function. So to give initial value for the data, we are using a special member function. The member function we call it as a constructor. So the constructor is used to initialize object. So the initialization is automatically carried out by a special member function. We call that member function as constructor. Next let us see the general syntax of constructor. The name of the constructor is same as that of the class name. So if we use the name of the class as student, the constructor name is also as student. So the general syntax of the constructor is the class name. After that you can give the list of assignment statement within the curly brace set. So this is the general syntax, and when you define this constructor outside the class definition, then you can use the scope resolution operator like this. So first class name, after that scope resolution operator, then name of the constructor. So this constructor is belonging to this class, this syntax says. So this is the general syntax, that is the class name followed by the list of assignment statement. Then next we are going to see what are the different types of constructors. So constructor is automatically called when an object is created. So while creating an object, this constructor method will be automatically called. This constructor can take different formats, different types. So first one default constructor, second one parameterized constructor, third one copy constructor. Now let us see what is default constructor. So this default constructor has no argument. So this constructor can be called without any argument. So we can call this as no argument constructor. So let us see one example here. In the example we have defined a class creature. So name of the class is creature. Within that a private data member is defined. It is year of birth. So year of birth is a data member of type int, and in the public section we have defined the constructor. So constructor should be defined only in public section. So creature is the name of the constructor. So this is similar to the name of the class. So name of the class and the constructor name should be same. So within this we have just given one output statement. So constructor is called. So this message will be displayed at the time of object creation. So next to the class definition, a main function is defined. Here the object for the creature class is given. So the object name is obj. Just an object is created, then get ch and return. So with this main function is completed. So when we execute this function, execute this program, then an object obj is created. At the time of creation, this method is automatically called, and you will get the message as constructor called. So no action is carried out, only this message is displayed in this program. So default constructor is a constructor which can takes no argument. The next to this is parameterized constructor is the second type. So in this parametric constructor we have to pass arguments. We can pass arguments to the constructor when the objects are created, and since it's take the argument, we call this constructor as a parameterized constructor. Now let us see example for this class creature. Within this the private member, year of birth, it is a data member of integer type. Then in the public section we have defined the constructor function. So this constructor, the name of the class as well as the constructor name is same. Now we are passing the parameter year, which is of integer type. Now we are assigning this year to the year of birth. So year of birth is the data member of the class creature. So the constructor purpose is to assign the value for the data members. So now we are passing the value year to the year of birth. So in this just we have passed the value year to the year of birth. So this is the parameter year. So at the time of execution of our program, while creating object, the value that we give will be passed to this year of birth and the corresponding output. So what we have designed in our program, as per the definition, you will get the output. Just we have specified how the parameterized constructor can be used. So next let us see copy constructor. This copy constructor is to declare and initialize an object from another object. That is, you can copy an object content to another object. So this example says that ABC is a class name, and here we are creating an object C2 which takes the argument C1. So C1 is the object which is already created. So now we are copying the content of C1 to C2. So this would define the object C2, at the same time it initialize it to the value of C1. So what C1 is having, that is passed to C2. So the process of initializing through a copy constructor is known as copy initialization. So the example says that class ABC is the name of the class, where two data members are defined, A and B. So no access specifier is given, so it is defined in private section. In the public section, there is a constructor with the two parameters. First one is X, another one is Y. Both are of integer type. In this constructor, we have assigned the value X to the first member A and the value Y to the second data member. Then this is another constructor. This constructor says that ABC is a constructor of ABC class, where the address of P is assigned. So P is an object, that address is passed to this ABC constructor. So in this address of another object is passed. So the object P member A will be assigned to the current object member A. Similarly, the object member B is assigned to the current object B. So whatever this P object has is passed to the current object A and B. Then the next method defined in the same class is show data. So this will display what A and B has. Now in the mains function only we are declaring the objects. So first one C1, where the value 10 and 20 are passed, and next to this is we are defining another object C2, where the value of C1 is passed. So the first object C1 has 10 and 20. The two member values are 10 and 20. Now the 10 and 20 is passed to another object C2. Now when you show C1 using the show data member, the value 10 and 20 will be displayed. Similarly, when we call the show data member for the second object C2, here also you will get the value 10 and 20. So both object will display the same value 10 and 20. We are going to see another concept called as default argument. It is an argument to the function, that is not required to specify. Argument which is not required to specify during the function call, we call it as a default argument. So this default arguments always have a value, and if it is not specified when calling the function, it will take the value. Say, let us see an example. My function int a, int b, int c is equal to 12. Here the first two arguments are normal arguments and the last one is a default argument, because the last value takes the value 12. So let us see the example. My function 1, 2, 3. Here the three parameters required for the functions are given. So the first value a will be 1, second value b will be 2, and the third value c is taken as 3. So here all the three values are given. So this function will be called in a normal way. But in the second function call, the first two parameters only specified and the last one is not specified. In this case, the value a will be taken as 1 and the value b will be taken as 2, and the value c is not specified. So in this case, it will take the value as 12, because 12 is given as the default value. So this type of value we call it as a default arguments. So the default arguments can also be used in constructor. Now let us see some of the important points about constructors. So constructor is automatically called when an object is created. As I said earlier, while creating an object, the constructor function will be automatically called, and we can define our own constructor. That is what value the object can hold, we can define our constructor, we can define. Then the constructor can take the same name as the class name. So class name and the constructor name should be same. Then we have to define the constructor only in public section. So we cannot define a constructor in a private section. The next point is the constructor should not return any type. So no return type is specified for constructor. It should not return any value. Then next important point is constructor must be defined in public. So already I told. Then overloading of constructor is possible. It is for the same class we can define more number of constructors. We can define one default constructor, one parameterized constructor, one copy constructor. Like this we can define same within the same class more number of constructor. That concept we call it as overloading. Suppose if no value is taken, then it will call the default constructor. If parameter is passed, then it will take the parameter. So which constructor has to be taken, that is decided by the compiler at the time of execution based upon the values passed. So that concept we call it as overloading. If an object is copied from another object, then the copy constructor is called. So when we copy another constructor, so if we copy another object value, then it is called as copy constructor. So these are the important points about constructor. Next let us see what is destructor. Destructor is also a special member function of a class. It is used to release dynamic allocated memory. That is, when we create objects and if objects are not required for future reference, then the objects may take some space in the memory. So the used space of the object can be cleared by the destructor program. So destructor will release the space, memory space occupied by the object during the runtime. So when an object is not required, the space occupied by that object can be released. So that is the function of destructor. Destructor function is also automatically called, and this destructor has the same name as that of the class name. Its general syntax is the tilted symbol followed by name of the class. So constructor has a class name, the destructor has a tilde symbol. So the main difference between the constructor syntax and destructor is destructor has a tilde symbol before the name of the class. Then some of the important methods about destructors. So first point is the name of the destructor is a set of the class name. Then like constructor, destructor is also defined only in public section. Then destructors cannot be overloaded, but constructor can be overloaded. Constructors can be different forms. Within a same class we can define more number of constructors, but only one destructor we can define. So the destructors cannot be overloaded. Then as like constructor, this also has a no return type. So no return type is specified for destructor. Now let us see the example program for destructor. So here we have defined a class creature, one private member, year of birth defined as integer type. Then we have created a constructor. Within that constructor we have assigned the value of year of birth as 1970, and there is one output statement. This statement will be displayed as a constructor called. Then this is our destructor program. This destructor program will display the message destructor is called. So this is the class definition. Now this is our main function. Within this main function there is one output statement. So this output statement display main start. After this one object is created for the creature class. The name of the object is object. So at the time of this creation, the constructor program will be called, and it assigns the 1970 as a year of birth, and this message constructor created is displayed. Then at the end this statement will display that main end. So then this return statement will end the program. During that end of the execution, this destructor program is called, and you will get the message destructor called. So the constructor will be called at the time of object creation, and when the program ends, at the time of ending, the destructor program will be called. So with this we conclude our session. Thanks for listening. Thank you so much.